Hey, and welcome to our latest word game. And Ali's going to really love this one we've got lined up. Not so much.
Yeah, I put it out there and everybody betrayed me and everyone said, high five you. Thanks.
Know who your friends are.
Well, obviously they're very limited from the feedback I got asking for a bit of a reprieve. So I am stuck with dentistry.
Yes.
Yours, however, Rich,
It
is
is
an
a lot easier.
absolute gift
It is.
of
It's
a
a lot easier.
list. I want that noted.
Mm.
So my list, my horrible list, is gums, drill, plaque, false teeth, bite down, mouthwash, rinse, x-rays, mold, chair, nurse, rotten, pearly whites, braces, and check-in.
Yes.
Not a lot I can really say to that, apart from pending crash and burn. And
That's
you're
right.
getting a list in comparison, Rich?
Oh, yeah. Ali's been very kind to me this week. So she's given me Motley Crue, Dire Straits, Simple Minds, Shawaddy, Manic
No, I
Street.
didn't say you could take Shawaddy out.
Of, yeah. Anyway, Manic Street Preachers, Eagles, Rage Against the Machine, Madness, Alarm, The Verve, ABC, Nirvana, U2, The Rolling Stones, Muse, and finally The Clash.
And what was the theme by any chance?
Bands,
Bands.
bands.
So who's going first? Me or you, Rich?
Oh, we'll get this done out of the way if you want.
Yeah, but who's getting what out of the way first? My horror or
You'll
your
go
gift?
and get your horror out of the way first if it's that bad.
Okay, here we go. So you might have noticed that I'm a Glaswegian. And that means I'm also Scottish. So one of the phrases that you sometimes hear us say is talking about people mumping their gums. And that's kind of when you're having a wee mutter to yourself. You kind of, yeah, mumping your gums. Great phrase, that isn't it? And sometimes when you are maybe planning some activity, maybe some DIY around about the house, you might have that wee moment as you're about to start where you have that wee mumping gums moment where you're almost working through that mental practice. I know certainly that well, I'm quite handy with a bit of plumbing, electrics and such. The minute the electric drill comes out, then that's something I'm always very cautious with because you really kind of don't get to redo it if you stuff it up. So when I see these people and they're effortlessly maybe putting plaques on houses, whether that's a picture they're hanging or a number next to the door, there's always that certain sense of remembrance of maybe the extra raw plug that I had to insert the last time I did that because maybe I didn't quite get it right first time. And that means that in a way, there's always a point of retrieval for things. A bit like false teeth. You might not necessarily have your own anymore, but you can get a fairly decent replacement that enables you to bite down on things. At this point, I'm eternally grateful that Rich didn't give me Fixodent in this list also. And that the next word you did give me was mouthwash rather than a specific brand. Because otherwise it would have to be on a rinse and repeat in an attempt to fit all these words in. And just as sometimes we have x-rays taken at the dentist to see underneath, I am fully aware of the inner glee you probably had writing this for me. And it has brought certain memories back, like, you know, when you get impressions made and they're trying to make that mold of your teeth and you get a horrible mouthful of that kind of silicon putty stuff that just, oh, horrible. But for some people, things like sitting in that chair in the dentist surgery can be really difficult to do. In fact, the last time I was at the dentist, the dental nurse told me that she had a fear of needles, which struck me as rather interesting given her occupation. So given what I do, I immediately got a bit curious and asked her about this fear of needles and if she wanted to keep this fear of needles. And she said, no, not really. And at that point, while she was describing to me where her fear of needles came from, she hadn't realised that I was already working on removing that fear of needles, taking apart each of her beliefs that she had about it, one of which was that she'd inherited this from her mother. And I, does that mean that fear of needles is built into your DNA? I says, that's rotten luck if it is, isn't it? Well, 10 minutes later, she no longer had a fear of needles and was chuckling merrily to herself about some of the things she'd told me to describe and justify where this fear had come from. Well, that means that she doesn't have to be anxious when somebody comes in for a polish of their pearly whites. She doesn't have to look away when the dentist she's working with applies the anaesthetic. And that moment when she braces herself for it has become more of a check-in internally to say, look where I am now. I'm all right, Jack.
That's excellent, Ali.
Over to you.
Absolutely. Well done. Good job. No, you were stressing all about it. I had confidence in you.
Well, you know, I managed to go all the way from DIY projects in the house through to dentistry.
Absolutely. It's just a story that you can take people on somewhere. Oh, there we are, walking along with a Motley Crue, Eddie at my right-hand side, as we are heading into dire straits. We know that this is going to be a bad, bad place to go to. But in our simple minds, in this hellscape, in the background is Shawaddy Waddy, and this is no stairway to heaven. These demons down in this place were chanting and preaching like the Manic Street Preachers. Because if you tolerate this, then your children will be next. We came there like the screaming eagles, raging against the machine, and in sheer madness and confusion, all these demons were alarmed. They managed to verve away from us. But it's like the look of love, with ABC going, we've got you people, we got you demons, and soon we sent them into Nirvana. And you too, when you're on the right track and on the right place, you may find your own Nirvana as well. And the Rolling Stones, they gathered on moss, because we would find our muse from somewhere. And the Clash, well, we did beat those demons, and we have overcome those fears. And Motley Crue and Eddie, they're all safe and all well and good.
Nice. Told you that was an easy one.
Oh, yes.